All right, so let's change this up. I am now going to get rid of the ambient light and I'm going to shoot with strobe. We got our giant Para 220 here, which is just a monster. And I'm going to bring it kind of nice and close and on top of my set. And it's going to have a different feel because I'm coming from the opposite direction. But it should give us a nice quality of light as well. We'll play with this guy a little bit. So I know a couple things right off the bat. One, I've got this light coming from the opposite direction. Right now, this background is going to catch very little light. So I'm just going to tip it into the background. I'm going to tip the background into the light just a bit so it catches that. Let's see what we got. Make some changes here. Okay. All right, so I'm going to change my camera settings. I'm going to go up to 1/25 of a second because I want to sync. I want to get rid of the ambient light as much as possible. All right, that's without taking a single meter reading, without looking at it at all in terms of how much light I'm getting out there. So I know it's a little bit weak. I want to bump that up. But honestly, it's going to be pretty nice. I'm going to rotate this around a little bit. And let's increase the power. All right, so without question, we're going to need some fill light on this. I'm going to do a couple of things with the background. I'm going to bring it closer. And we need a fill card for real. Let's get one out there. All right, so now we have this fill card right here. This large one right here, because I want to get a little bit of fill on the foreground. And I'm going to bring another one in where I can get the side of that cheese to light up because it's a little dark. So again, this is something that I can do handheld. I've got my trigger. I don't have to touch the camera at all. I can bring this guy in here, kind of position it to my light, and I can make adjustments very easily and very quickly. Nice. I'm going to tip that into the light a little bit. Too much. So let me quickly show you the difference that the angle of a fill card can make. If I have it fairly flat, I'm not going to catch much light at all. Just going to bring it up a hair, bring it up a bit more, and you can see the difference in exposure that just a fill card can give you. It's nice. It's a totally different feel in many ways, mainly because of the direction of the light, but not in terms of the quality of light. And I like it. Nice big source. As a reminder, this is the Broncolor Para 220, which is a pretty expensive light. If you wanted to kind of mimic this quality of light, you could go with a Chimera 7-foot Octabox, which is going to give you a really similar feel at a fraction of the cost. I'll next go through and I'll finalize this by doing the focus stack, but very quickly, let's just take a quick comparison look at the two, where we've got the natural light versus the strobe. So here's our strobe on the left, and this is my natural light on the right. So obviously we have a difference in the direction of the light, but you can also see the difference in the quality of light. This is far more directional. In terms of noise factor, in terms of quality, I don't have any difference because everything was shot at ASA 100. The natural light is a little bit more subtle. The way it's coming across is it's just giving softer light. My strobe light with the big Para 220 is lighting more from behind, and it's giving us a little bit more definition in places like the grapes. It's also making the olive oil bottle really kind of jump out because the light is coming more from behind, and truthfully, I really like that look versus what's going on here in the natural light. Both of these have their strengths without question. I don't really think that either one of them have their flaws in terms of quality of light. Nice, clean, and simple. So there you go. This is a little bit of a look at the medium format. Again, we were shooting with the Hasselblad H4D60, which is a 60 megapixel camera. We shot with available light, nice sunny day, silks across the windows in order to diffuse that natural light a little bit. Then we knocked out the natural light and we moved to the Para 220, which is an 8-foot parabolic reflector, and it's got a diffusion panel on the front of it. One light, little bit of fill, and that's it. A quick look at two different approaches to lighting the same simple set with either natural light or with strobe.